Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very first Longbangers Friday night preview show in association with Leeds Spirits. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
So, as this is the first one we've done, we'll kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Hibs face Rangers at Ibrox on Sunday. We've had a go at picking a starting 11 each. We'll kind of discuss the merits of each. We will have a wee chat about who we think the key Hibs player will be for the game. Have a look at the form guide, a bit of the head-to-head, and then do a score prediction where we will no doubt say how many goals Hibs will win by. As is par for the course for these things. So, John, I think you're first up with your team selection. Let me just bring it up on the screen there. Right, talk me through it.
I don't know. I don't know how quite to describe it. I hope it comes across as quite a pragmatic and balanced team. Although Colin, when he first said it, went, "The fuck is that?" Although it might have been, no, hang on, sorry, I tell a lie. It was the previous week when I dropped Joe Newell and you went,
"That's right.
What's that all about?" And I said, "I don't have to explain myself to you." I had a wee laugh about it. So this team, it's I don't think it's quite dissimilar to that, but I think I want three at the back, three centre backs who can just deal with anything that comes their way. But the idea behind that is that hopefully Rangers don't really get past the Hibs midfield too often. I wanted to have Triantis and Kwon in there because they provided a wee bit of an anchor for the midfield. I didn't want to leave ourselves too overexposed though, so that's why I've got Nath and Mariah Welsh in there to do a wee bit of running about. Cadden, Abita are going to be operating as our wing backs, and I've got Kaharovic and Ewan up front. The reason for Kaharovic is because I think of him in this type of game as being a wee bit of a target man. And I've also got Ewan there for a wee bit of pace because I expect that in this game we're going to see less of the ball, but that'll give us opportunities to counter-attack, so I'm hoping to utilise Ewan's pace to come away with a goal that's going to get us that 1-0 win that I optimistically predicted.
Some pace when we're in transition. Is that we've got a tactical on that a bit?
Aye.
Let's go with that. I've heard you say in transition. I think that's sometimes when you've got the ball.
It's the midfield three's a bit that I'm most interested in. So I suppose the question about Bashiri is the centre half. Not Iredale.
Well, there's still a question about his injury status. I don't know if he's fit or no.
Yeah, you do.
Wish somebody knew. And then it's that setup of Mariah Welsh as a sitter with Triantis and Kwon in front. Is that how you would see it setting up?
It's how I see it setting up, but I don't necessarily envisage Mariah Welsh as being that sort of like sitter, that playmaker. I just see him running about and picking up players or player as required, more as like a sort of free man marker, if that's a thing.
Yeah. We buzz bomb. All right.
A wee buzz bomb.
Colin, we'll get your team up next.
So I've went 3-5-2 as well. But mine's are a bit deeper, and it's probably more. You could even argue it's a 3-6-1 or a 5-4-1 or something. Right?
That looks like a 9-1 for where I'm sitting.
so what you'll see is I've got three at the back here. I've got attacking options in here. We've got the three at the back, right? And I've put Iredale in on the left because, as John reminded me, he's the left-footed one. So that allows O'Hara to go out to the right and do the good football stuff. We expect in the middle, just getting ready, fucking everything, emptying things out. Cadden and Obita as wing backs, I think same as John, and then I've got Triantis sitting with Kwon. And what I've done is I've put Campbell in it's like a diamond there, but I didn't intend that. Just when I look at it, because Campbell does a lot of running. He could be sitting on just stopping play high up because they'll be trying to do all the fucking pep stuff at the back. So get Campbell up there to disrupt it. But then I've got Hoylett in there, we'll beat on the left hand side. So that's the thinking there, is that we've got a bit of pace and a bit of attacking quality coming for the deep midfield, as well as Campbell that can link in, and the big man up front on his Todd. Still got Ewan and all that on the bench to come on if we need to throw bodies at it.
is there enough attacking options in that, do you think?
For what?
For us to score enough goals to beat them?
Aye, yeah, he'll need to score one.
Well,
It's
as long as we're talking about
I find it quite curious that Colin and I have gone for maybe a similar approach. That I think it's quite conservative, but you've still got that little bit of flavour in there to try and get the goal to win the game. And I think Colin, maybe reading between the lines, I think you're maybe looking for that down the left with Abita and Hoylett.
Abita Hoylett, you've got Campbell, who's Matthew's predicted top scorer this season, and we've got Karovic up through the middle.
Aye. I think my concerns with your team is just where the service comes from. Are Karen and Abita going to get high enough up the pitch?
Well, ideally, because what I'm thinking is what we need is to keep Tavernier back, or Tavernier, how the fuck you say his name, back. And the way to do that is by going high, isn't it? So Hoylett and Obita to press him back, because he's one of their main goal scoring threats. So yes, that would be the intention.
Did Josh Doig, just out of curiosity, did Josh Doig play in the game where we beat them 3-1 at Ibrox, and he had Tavernier? Doig was playing way up, and Tavernier never really got into the Hibs half that night.
Was that Josh the day when he got Kung Fu kicked? Or was it when the boy put the dreadful tackle in and David Gay got booked? Probably that Lundstrom, maybe.
It was Lundstrom. I can't mind.
I can't remember. I remember us talking about it. I remember pointing out Doig during that game, but I don't know during a game. But I don't know if it was the game that I'm thinking of.
And I don't know if Iredale's fit back to that point. I don't know if he's available or fit or whatever. Because I think the last I read he was doing, he maybe hadn't been fit, and so they were having to catch him up. So I don't know if he's available. I don't know if he's available to chuck in for the start. And if he wasn't, then it would have to be, if you were going three at the back, it would have to be Rocky, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Who again hasn't been playing, so I don't know if he's fit.
Well, I know I watched David Gray's press conference last night, and he did indicate that Iredale wouldn't be fit. Like he sort of, I get the feeling Newell and Boyle are both out. They sort of mentioned they would be a race against time, but to be honest, I just think
Newell's definitely out.
Playing his cards close to his chest, but I think they're both missing. And I can see like none of us have included either in our teams. I'll bring mine up next. It's just a variation on the same theme. It's quite interesting that we've all gone with three at the back. Okay, I've loaded up the wrong one here.
You just put mine up.
Disaster at half. I tell you.
Just read it
out. What a bugger. Right. That's because I've tried it in a hurry. Do you know when you finish work and you just come straight into something?
No.
Let me find my team. So, right, I've gone Bursic at the back, and then I've gone Ekpateta as the right-hand side of the centre halves, O'Hora and Iredale. So just the same as you there, Colin, other than swapping around Ekpateta and O'Hora. I've got Cadden and Abita just slightly further ahead, just well, more or less the same place. But then I've got two sitters. I've got Quan and Triantis, who just pretty much occupy either side of the centre circle. Then wide right, Yuan, wide left, Hoylett and Kukovic through the middle. And what my thinking was there, Colin, goes back to what you were saying about trying to keep Tavernier busy in the defensive side of it. I think if we can double up either Cadden and Yuan on our right-hand side or Obita and Hoylett on our left, I think that's like a good outball. So I think we could get in behind them. We saw we were trying to get in behind St Johnson quite a lot first half, and it wasn't quite working. But I think that's because St Johnson don't really commit the same players forward that Rangers do. Rangers, when they come forward, are going to leave a lot of space. So I would like to see us just sort of pinging the balls in behind there, using the width, and then getting the crosses into Kukovic to score.
So, can you just run me back through your midfield? So it was Hoylett wide, one side, Yuan the other side, Triantis and Quan in the middle. Is that right?
Yeah, Triantis and Quan.
It's like a 5-4-1.
Aye, 5-4-1, pretty much.
Right.
But with a lot of width. I'm a wee bit worried about getting overrun in the middle, but I don't think Rangers really play through the middle so much. I think they look to go wide as well, and push their fullbacks up. So we're almost kind of going like for like with them, I think. No, okay, obviously there's a bit of risk if you go toe to toe with Rangers because they do tend to have better players than us. But I think we've got enough on the break. I just didn't really see us playing through was it through the phases or through the lines or whatever. I think we'll be a wee bit more direct with my setup.
There will be people that know their coaching terminology. They're pulling their hair out.
Aye, they'll be able to sort of. Aye. What is it? Is it playing through the thirds or the lines? Oh, fuck. Aye, so I suspect we'll go a wee bit more direct. Right, this is the head-to-head between the teams. Right, you've got to go back some way before you find a Hibs win. Looking at this, I think the last time that we beat them was the League Cup semi-final.
Was it? Wow,
November 21. Martin Boyle hat-trick. So, John, that probably speaks to Josh Doig not playing in that game that you were referring to? Or maybe it did. So when did Doig leave? Can you remember?
Jack Ross was still there, So did he leave
maybe.
Jack Ross as a manager? Or I don't know. Can't remember. So much change at this club,
players
coming in and out.
Mind he was about to leave and Jack Ross had pretty much said he's off skating, and then for whatever reason we didn't sell him. But there's been some Dillions in there. Like, we've not had a good record against them at all. Really, the best there we've had like a 2-2s and 3-2 defeat. But
which of those games is the one where we went ahead through Nisbet? It was where they had the beanbag at Easter Road and the big screens, and then Porteous got sent off. Because that felt like a game where that was a game that I thought that we were looking pretty good in. And the sending off changed the balance of the game.
Maybe that one at the bottom. It's funny because we had a spell, obviously, when Rangers were coming back up or coming up through the leagues for the first time. And they weren't that great. We had their number for a bit, and I was pretty comfortable every time we went to play them. And you were like, quite fancy as the day. I actually spent a bit of time on Hibsnet last night. There was a thread of folk posting links to goals and games. So there was like the 4-0 at Easter Road. There was a couple of 3-0s at Ibrox. The cup semi-final was in there. Going back even to 1986 with was it 86 with Souness? Was that 86? Did they put that time?
Oh, when he put the studs through, was it George McCluskey?
He gets sent off on his debut. It was some game that, by the way. Some of the tackles that were going in, and not surprisingly, McCoy's getting a penalty for a big fucking dive as well.
Did McCoy's not come in with like a wee sucker punch during that when they had the Rami?
He did.
Your rabbit punch.
He did. Got away with it. There was the one where Laudrup got to retake his penalty, which Leighton saved the retake. I mind feeling really, really aggrieved at that at the time. But see, when you watch it back, I think it was Andy Millen who's running in. Yeah. Andy Millen's just about ready to save the ball. He's that far into the box where Laudrup takes the penalty. It was like, aye. The head-to-head doesn't really go in our favour.
No, aye. It definitely doesn't. And I don't know, I know Colin made a flippant point there, but I wonder how much the amount of changes is impacted upon that, because I think as you look through there, I think, Jack Ross was sort of 2021, 22, where were we, like Sean Maloney? Mm-hmm. Then you've got Lee Johnson, Nick Montgomery, and now we're in the age of David Gray, so...
Aye. But we're not really laying a clever. I think that's my concern. Like, you know, to get we've scored more than one goal against them once since that semi-final in 2021, and I think we'll need to score more than once on Sunday. I don't fancy us to keep a clean sheet, so that's a bit of a worry. Looking at the form guide, so we are sitting in 9th in the last 5 games with 5 points. Rangers in 3rd, tucked in behind Celtic and Aberdeen with 10 points. I mean, I suppose that's kind of, you would expect Rangers to be up the top of the form guide most weeks anyway. Hibs better or worse than you were expecting?
I think they're probably where we are in the league. We're probably worse, but I mean, it's 5 games, and it's like I think we're probably 4 points worse off than we should be, or could have been. Definitely could have been. And if I don't know if we sat down at the start of the season, done a 5 next 4 next 6 games like we sometimes do. I can't remember, but I probably predicted more than 5 points for the first 5 games. So probably worse, to summarise.
John, what were your thoughts on it?
I'm not sure because I can't actually remember all the fixtures that we've had at the start of the season. I know we
St Mirren, Dundee,
St Mirren, Dundee, Kilmarnock.
St Johnstone.
Did we play Celtic in the league as well?
Yeah, league and cup.
So we would have been coming out with 10 points for that.
I would have thought so.
I don't know. It might Captain Hindsight in me might be saying I'm not sure that we should have been predicting taking points off St Mirren, given that they were better than us last season.
They were in Europe though. That was the context there. Like, remember?
Yeah, true.
The middle of Thursday night, Thursday run. So we would have been going, well, maybe fancy yourself there, at least a draw, a win. We would have definitely. 5 points is probably below their expectations, but
I'd also say that there's plenty of room for us to improve. Like there's still been throughout the start of those 5 games, there's been wee tweaks and changes, and there's been we've lost Kieran Bowie injury as well. So, but I think we're a wee bit more settled, and we've still got a few wee opportunities to strengthen and vary the side there with Iredale hopefully coming back from injury. We've seen Junior Hoylett. I keep wanting to call him Justin Hoylett for some reason. I feel like Matty's name problems are starting to come over to me.
Good, finally having an influence about time.
And Yuan's back as well, and I think he's got something that shows.
It's interesting that with our team selections, we all went with 3 at the back end. I think we've talked before about no changing, like no mucking about your defence is like probably the one area you want to keep the same, but I think it's probably right to do that.
It's just adding an extra one in though.
Aye.
It's not like mass change, is it? It's I think the 4 that have been playing plus the goalie are still on all your teams. We've just added an extra one in.
Mm-hmm. The next thing to talk about the key player then. So who is going to be Hibs' key player on Sunday? Like who does it rest on having a good game for us to get the win, John?
Purely based on my starting 11, I think it's going to be Yuan. However, I liked Colin's inclusion of Junior Hoylett. I think he could either make the difference, assuming he starts, or if he comes off the bench based on his performance against St Johnstone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought
Thanks.
It was
memory man disappeared for a second.
Memory man. It was interesting. David Gray talking about Yuan, and almost without saying he had a shit game when he played against St Johnstone. He said he was shit against St Johnstone. Just not quite those words, but he sort of says he's got some more minutes under his belt. They had a bounce game through the break there, and he's expecting him to be much better. Colin, what about you? Who's your key man for it?
So obviously, I kind of spoke it up about it, that the attacking midfielders Campbell, Hoylett, but I think in a game like this, the key man, if you're going to sneak something, would be a defender or a goalie. Would have to be, if we've got to keep them out because they're coming off a high. They won. I just realised they won last night. I wasn't paying much attention to it because it was early kickoff and that, and I'm busy at that time on a Thursday. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing though. Because sometimes like if you come off a bad result, you've got something to prove. But when you've had a good result, you're maybe a bit more lackadaisical or whatever. But I'm thinking it could be like Ekpiteta or Bursic could be the. Have I said his name right there? Bursic, is it?
Yeah,
Bursic.
I think it could be one of those. Like Ekpiteta just getting in the road of everything, just like blocking everything on the goal line, headers away, wiping boys out, breaking ribs, all that kind of stuff. That's what I want to see for. That's what Ekpiteta's here for. He's Darren McGregor's replacement. Just going to take bodies.
I'm going to go for Kwon. If I could pick 2, I know you kind of both mentioned 2 players, Kwon and Shanis, shielding the defence, and sort of almost making sure that Rangers can only play out wide. So I think when I've seen Rangers play, they have players that try to pick up the wee positions just on the edge of the box and try to pull a defender out of position, and that's where we need Kwon and Shanis to be alert and alive to the danger sort of picking up. But crucially, when they get on the ball, no just fucking shelling it or try to hit 2 Hibs players' heads with the one kick, things like that. Like play sensibly, but with a bit of bravery and try to kind of keep the ball when we get it. I think that's like the trick is if the midfield can play with a bit of composure, bring in the wide players, then we'll be all right. So I think those two will be the most critical. All right, minute left. Score predictions. Colin, you go first. How do you see the game going?
Somebody was telling me last night. What was the story? Wish I'd remembered this. We're something like 145 to 1 to win 3-1.
Right.
Now I can't remember why that's significant. But anyway, I'm going to say 1-0. Right, because I can't remember the story to go follow through it and back it.
John, what about you?
I'm still going for 1-0. And to add to the strength of that argument was just what Colin was saying there about the key player. It's maybe not so much the guy that scores the goal, because I think we'll create an opportunity or 3. That'll be the guy at the other end that'll be stopping him from scoring. So hopefully we see an incredible performance for Bursik and we carve out an opportunity and a goal for ourselves at the other end.
Okay, what did you say score there?
1-0.
1-0, yep.
1-0.
I'm going to go for the try and test it 2-1 Hibs. And I quite fancy a 3-0 away. Like, now that we've been talking about it, I did this yesterday as well, kind of got carried away. As soon as you start thinking about how the game might go and fantasy takes over for reality. Just before I wrap up, just to reference a wee message we got through from Bill Gallagher asking us to give a shout out to the West of Scotland Hibs Supporters Club, also known as the Westies or the Lost Tribe. They're on Facebook. It's recently been formalised and they've over 80 paid up members. The next venture's a bus to the Dundee United game on 19th of October. So if you're a Hibby living in the Wild West, you're welcome. You can contact them via their Facebook page or by email to scaryhibby@aol.com. I hope I got that shout out all right for you, Bill. We use the Fan Hub app to get our team selections. You can share them. So if you want to share your team selection ahead of the game with us, just tag us in it on Twitter and we will circulate them. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more of these, please do get in touch and we will be back on Sunday with our podcast. Thanks.
They trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.